Hey, sorry about that. I had the video on a loop and I forgot it was on a loop. But anyway, howdy, hey, happy Tuesday. Today we're going to be talking about social media marketing for enrolled agents specifically. Nothing against my other tax professional friends, but we are going to be focused on social media marketing for tax representation. So, throughout this today, I'm going to be asking you all a few questions because I want to get to what your real intention is with being on social media with your business. Okay. So at the end of this video, I would love for you to have a social media marketing plan. All right. So if you have not already, make sure that you go to americasfavoritea.com and you join how to start an enrolled agent firm, because this is something that, surprise if you are in there, we're going to be working on this week. So, question number one that I have for you is, why are you on social media with your business? Okay. And feel free to answer it in the comments, but also make sure that you write this down for yourself as well. Okay. You guys know when I teach, it's very interactive. So, question number one, why am I on social media with my business? And question number two, are my actions in alignment with what I say my purpose for being on social media is? So, number one, why am I on social media with my business? And put what comes to mind first, because if you give me a cookie cutter answer, what you think I want to hear, we can't actually work with that. All right. Next, are my actions in alignment with that goal? Now, if you're new here, my name is Timalyn Bowens. I'm America's favorite EA. As an enrolled agent, I'm licensed to represent taxpayers in any IRS office about any IRS matter. So I have clients all across the country and even in different parts of the world. I'm also the owner of Bowens Tax Solutions, which is a virtual firm based in Louisville, Kentucky, and I specialize in working with taxpayers who owe $100,000 or more, who are being audited or being levied. And a lot of my marketing to get my business off of the ground took place on social media. So when I have other tax professionals or just professionals in general ask me, like, man, how do you do this with LinkedIn? How are you doing that with YouTube? I said, you know what? For my people who are bootstrapping with their marketing, trying to get their enrolled agent firm off of the ground, let me go ahead and cover this topic to help you all be able to get your firms, kind of going, get that money in so you can invest in other marketing streams. So I'm going to say what's up in the comments really quick before we get into this. You guys know the drill. If you're not new here, I'm going to go check LinkedIn real quick. If you're on LinkedIn this morning, make sure you say hello in the comments, but also make sure that you are giving StreamYard permission to post your comments. So that way I will actually see them right on here and I don't miss anybody. So let me see. Let me make sure I'm live on LinkedIn first. Okay, perfect. So I got 3 people on LinkedIn. Nobody's saying anything. What's up, LinkedIn? You guys sneaking on at work. So we got 3 on YouTube, 2 on Facebook. Facebook, say what's up. My guy, Joseph Perkins, is in here. He says, great morning, kings and queens. Good morning to you, Joseph. Hope you're ready to be working on this in the group. Miss Dorothy is here. She says, hi, Miss Timalyn. She's on social media to bring awareness, and her actions are not in alignment with that goal. And that's okay. We're going to work on that, right? Good morning, Deja on LinkedIn. Make sure that you're giving StreamYard permission so I can see your comments pop up over here, please. But Miss Deja Warner Coleman is in the house. So let's be very, very, very clear, especially nowadays when you hear people talk about marketing, whether it's marketing your tax business, any kind of business you have, everybody says you need to have an online footprint. And I 100% agree with that. But we have to make a distinction between what they're talking about online, because typically that is having a Google page, having a website, and then social media. They are not one and the same, but they do work together. So today, I'm not talking about a piece of internet real estate that you own, like a website or your Google listing. Today, I'm talking specifically about third party platforms such as YouTube, if you're on here, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, Reddit, all of those different types of things. Now, with that clarification, we have one person that volunteered and the numbers are going up. So we got 12 people all together. Because remember, if you're starting your enrolled agent firm, you want to make sure you are in my community, how to start an EA firm, which is a free community right now. If you go to groups@americasfavoriteea.com, you can get in right there. We're going to be working on this for the week. All right. So with that being said, you need to figure out what your purpose is for being on social media. Because again, you'll hear people talk about, oh, grow your business with social media. Do you want to grow eyeballs, the people who are seeing your content, who know about your business, or do you want to actually build your business in terms of revenue and clients? Because they are not the same. One is okay. Well, actually, they're both okay, but you have to be intentional with what you're doing. Okay. So I asked this question earlier before we had this many people. Good morning, Larry. I don't know why LinkedIn's not showing me you guys' comments. Good to see you. And Miss Alita, good to see you as well. With you being intentional for the new people hopping on, you need to ask yourself the question, write it down so you can actually take this away to implement your strategy later. Why am I on social media with my business? Okay. That's number one. And like I said, feel free to share it in the comments, but you need to write this down for your own sake. Why am I on social media with my business? Number two, are my actions in alignment with why I say I'm on social media with my business? Okay. So for me personally, the views, especially on YouTube, right? That matters because I get AdSense revenue. That's cool. But it doesn't matter how many eyeballs you have on your content if they are the wrong eyeballs. Now, if your whole purpose for being on social media is to look at the vanity metrics, like having a certain amount of views, saying that you have a certain amount of followers, that's fine. And you can put out content that will attract that. But I can tell you right now, I know people who have 35,000 followers on YouTube, or subscribers rather, 100,000, and I'm making more than them on YouTube because it's the wrong eyeballs. Okay. So my warning for you is not to get caught up on the vanity metrics. So I guess I don't have anybody else volunteering. When you figure out why you're on social media, am I here to make money or am I here just to get the eyeballs? That is what's going to dictate your content strategy. For a lot of people, and probably a lot of you as well, you've told me that, hey, I'm on social media because I want to get more clients. I want more people to work with. But then when I look at your pages, whether it's a business page, a personal page on LinkedIn, Facebook, even the type of content that you're putting out on YouTube, that content does not align with that goal. And here's what I mean. If you're an enrolled agent and you want to attract people who have tax problems, right? You want to be able to get more representation work from your content. You, my friend, if your goal is to get those types of clients and not just for eyeballs, have absolutely no business talking about a stimulus check. Now, that was a while ago, and that's why I'm using that as an example. Don't want to ruffle anybody's feathers yet, because you guys know I will. But you have to think about that strategically. And you also have to think about, okay, if I want to attract a certain type of client, I have to put out a certain type of content. And here's the other thing. Like I said, the eyeballs are cool, but they have to be the right eyeballs. I'll use Miss Dorothy as an example. She said, I'm on social media to bring awareness. Now, with that awareness, what are you trying to make them aware of? Because you have to remember that if you are posting on Facebook and playing with the different algorithms and stuff, they're going to push you up for certain things, right? Well, if you talk about everything under God's sun, they don't know what to promote and push. They don't know who to promote and push your content to, especially if you're not being active to make sure that you are getting followers. And by saying you're active, I mean inviting people to like your page. I mean, if you want to grow your following, you may need to sponsor some type of post to get likes and follows, but you have to be targeted even with that as well. Your time does equal your money when you're being a business owner, so you have to be wise and intentional with that. So let me see. Is it Rona or is it Ron? No, on Facebook. And thank you for saying good morning. I'm sorry, some more people came in the room. Letitia's on Facebook. Good morning, ma'am. I was looking for you over here on LinkedIn. Carlos is on YouTube. Good morning, sir. Tanya's on YouTube. Let me know, is this Rana or is it Rona? You all know. Oh, shoot. I hope I said the first one the first time every time I ask. So I'm thinking it's Rana. Okay. So Rana says that she wants to get more clients. Cool. She wants to get more resolution clients. Perfect. So this is what I'm talking about with being intentional. You can have different strategies for different purposes. Let's say with Rana, right now, she's on social media and she wants more resolution clients. Is there a specific niche that you work with, or are you just looking for anybody across the board for resolution? But let me, while she's answering that, let me go at this. If she's looking for resolution clients, she wants people that are going to be able to pay her, right? She should not have her main focus putting out content be on EIC. All right. And let me give you an example. So for me, if you're following me on LinkedIn, if you're following America's Favorite EA, you know that I put out a lot of content for enrolled agents. Well, guess what? Now I have an EA mentorship program and I have an article subscription. I have the community. So that's very intentional because guess what? Each and every one of you on here today are either an EA, you want to be an EA, you want to start an EA firm. So the content strategy worked. But I do also write for other tax publications. And in addition to that, some personal finance articles for different platforms. When I promote my content that I write on other platforms, I have to be careful, especially because I'm not doing tax preparation for businesses anymore. Yesterday, I shared an article that came out last week that was about disability income and qualifying for the earned income tax credit. Now, I believe on each platform, I'm known for being an EA and doing the tax representation work. However, that one piece of content attracted DMs and different things from people who have disability income or low to moderate income. Now, I was happy to help them and share the article, but I did not share my booking link with any of those people. What I see a lot of you all doing is you're saying, okay, I want resolution clients, but content wise, you're putting out content about the low hanging fruit or whatever is trending just to get eyeballs, to get the algorithms. And what's happening with that is, yes, you're getting eyeballs, but the platform is making you known for that low hanging fruit and not the bigger service offering that you want to do. So, for example, and I think I said this last week when I talked about how to make $100,000 in your firm or your first $100,000. If you are doing tax representation resolution and you're also doing tax preparation, you're also doing tax planning, think about it this way. When you want to ramp up for tax season, yes, the first month before tax season, you want to hit that tax prep content hard, especially on a platform that is going to take long form content. So, for example, if you are on YouTube, I'll tell you guys what I do. Everybody, taxes is top of mind. Everybody is waiting for those W-2s in January, right? So, what am I going to do the first 4 weeks of the year on YouTube? Every Monday night at 8 o'clock, there's going to be a video on how to fill out your W-4. Why? Because when people get their W-2s in January, they're going to say, oh, shoot, my withholding's not right. So in February, they're going to be looking for that, and I'm already going to have the content out there. And because YouTube is connected with Google and people are searching for things, that content is going to pop up. So if you are strategically looking for tax clients, you want to start putting out tax content before tax season so that when those people are looking for information about it, you're the first person that pops up. However, if you're doing tax representation, now hear me out. This was my final season doing 1065s, 1120s, and Schedule Cs. You will not see me putting out that type of content on Facebook or LinkedIn. Now, will I probably still do a video or so? Absolutely, because I want my Google AdSense money. However, because my main focus for taxpayers is to do tax representation, when I'm talking to them, that's all I talk about unless I'm sharing an article that I wrote. With that being said, because I solve tax problems and help people lower or get rid of their tax debt, what happens is when they're happy with me, they want me to do their tax preparation. They want me to help them with the tax plan. They want me to do their bookkeeping. Now, I haven't taken on a bookkeeping client since 2018 and haven't done bookkeeping probably since 2018, 2019. However, because I solved the big problem, though, because I'm knowledgeable on the stuff that people isn't common knowledge to taxpayers, they assume I know the other things. Now, what a lot of you all are doing is putting yourself in a box with your marketing, because if you're talking about tax preparation, that's cool, but people are going to think that you only do tax preparation and maybe bookkeeping, right? However, you want to make sure you were talking about the top tier service. And when I say top tier service, I'm saying the one that you're going to be able to charge the most for and the one that is going to solve a bigger problem, right? Because here's the thing. Your content should do two things nicely. It should attract the right people and it should repel the wrong people. Now, do I still have people that wouldn't qualify to work with me reach out? Absolutely. But it's easier for me to tell a few people no versus me attracting all those people that don't qualify to work with me and then trying to figure out, hey, why do people that owe the IRS $100,000 not want to talk to me? It's because if I'm talking about EIC, a person that's going to owe $100,000 or more is not going to qualify for EIC. So they're going to skip right over my content because it's not relevant to them. Does this make sense? If it makes sense, let me know in the comments below. LinkedIn, I got 5 people on there. What's up? Y'all aren't talking to me. And I'm not seeing your comments over here. So I am trying to check and refresh the page just to make sure that I'm not missing anybody. All right, so we got 3 on Facebook. Rana, Sierra, Letitia, you guys say what's up. Miss Dorothy says, yes, it makes sense. Tanya, Carlos, you guys still with me? Joseph, is this making sense? Let me see if I have anybody else asking questions. So Miss Dorothy asked, and good morning, Sierra, if I didn't say that. Miss Dorothy asked, what if you offer different services? So I think I just answered this question. If you offer different services, you want to advertise the one that encompasses them all. right? So even when I did bookkeeping, if I was looking for bookkeeping, actually, you know what? I don't think I ever even marketed bookkeeping, but let's just say I did. Let's say you do tax preparation and you do bookkeeping, right? You want to talk about people having problems with their taxes because they don't have clean books, right? Because with that, you are incorporating both services. And the problem with the tax preparation is because there's a problem with the books. So then you are offering yourself as the main solution for that. I hope that makes sense. I see you said that I did answer your question. Okay, cool. So Sierra says this makes sense. Carlos makes sense. Tanya, yes. Miss Dorothy said I answered your question. Awesome. So with that, I know Rana's going for tax resolution clients. What's up, Joseph? I thought you left me. Joseph, I know is about to start studying for the exam. Right now in your business, we have a month in the fourth quarter. For a lot of you, you are not planning out your content, which again goes back to you not being intentional. And in order to hit whichever goal that you have for your social media marketing, you have to be intentional about it. So, for example, I told you in January, I'm putting out W4 content on my YouTube page for the Monday night videos because I know mid January, the beginning of February, people are going to be searching W4 content hard because they're going to be getting those W2s and the withholding is going to be off. So ahead of time, I'm already going to be prepared. I'm not going to be stressed out, even though we're getting ready for tax season, because I already know what my audience is going to be looking for. I already can estimate the views that I'm going to have. I already can predict my Google AdSense money from that. The same thing goes if you're using social media to look for tax preparation clients, if you're using social media to look for tax representation clients. If you're looking for tax representation clients, guess what? We're about to have another boom of notices going out. Why? Because we are approaching the extension deadline very quickly. So, what's going to happen with that? We have people who did not file earlier in the year because they found out they were going to owe, and hey, they weren't feeling it. So, they wouldn't put their head in the sand. But they're like, shoot, I still got to get it filed before October 15th. Let me go ahead and do that. And when they do, what's the first notice that they're going to get? Anybody feel free to drop it in the comments. What's up, LinkedIn? If you know the first notice they're going to get that CP14. And for taxpayers who have never owed the IRS, they're going to see CP14. They're going to look at it, but their brain's probably not going to process what it actually means. So guess what they're going to do? They're going to go to Google and they're going to look it up. Guess what would be a perfect content opportunity for you to go ahead and cover before they get that notice? What is a CP14? Go ahead and cover the other popular notices. What is XYZ form? And then something else that I see a lot of people doing on social media. And if it's an intentional strategy, that's cool. But I think a lot of people just don't know. They either have no call to action or they make a call to action once a week. Y'all, I don't know about you. I have Bowens Tax Solutions. I have America's Favorite EA. They are two different businesses. But if I don't make money, I'm not going to eat. Listen, I need you guys to be intentional in your content. I need you to be intentional in owning that you have a business. Don't worry about what other people on social media have to say about you posting, always promoting, because that's what you're supposed to do. It's your business. If nobody else promotes your business, it shouldn't matter because you are. So let's say that you want these tax representation clients. We're about to have another surge of notices going out. Right now, you should be planning out your Q4 content. It should be a mix. If you're looking for tax representation clients, it should be a mix of educating and conversion. So, with that, let's say that let's say I'm looking for tax representation clients. And you guys are going to see me do this, especially if you're connected on YouTube, because there's a strategy that I'm going to be implementing in September and October using shorts. You want to make sure that all of your content is going to address a pain point. Now, this pain point could be about somebody in general. It could be about something you've experienced yourself. It could even be about a client testimonial. Let me give you an example. So these CP14s, they are coming out, these demand for payments. You will write a piece of content. You guys have seen me do this because look, I've been trying to help y'all, my EA friends, but I got to get back to my tax representation money too. If I was going to write something to call somebody out that owed the IRS who hasn't noticed, I would start it out, whether it's in a video or a LinkedIn post, which LinkedIn posts work for me because I write, I can put the body in there. The 3 mistakes taxpayers make when they get a notice from the IRS. I'm going to walk them through a story and what those 3 points are. Because guess what? People connect with people. When you can share a story that people can connect with, it builds that know, like, and trust. And then they want to work with you to solve the problem, right? That's why when you guys see me on YouTube, if you see the video elsewhere, I'm telling a story for people to connect with so they know that they're not alone and to know that those pain points can be soothed and the problem solved. Okay? You could even do it like this. If you're doing tax preparation and you're looking for tax representation clients, you could say, hey, these are the top 5 reasons why small business owners who make XY amount of money owe 10 taxes every year. And you could talk about estimated tax payments. You could talk about doing withholding if somebody's an S Corp. Because here's the other thing. I get wanting to help everybody. I've been there myself. But now you guys hear me say, hey, I work with people that owe $100,000 or more. Why is that? Am I respective persons who owe lower? Absolutely not. But there's a certain amount of money that I want to make per case, so I don't have to work with as many clients. If a person owes $100,000 or more, they're going to be in that price model where it's going to fit my goals. Now, if somebody recently booked a call that only owes $9,500, for that person, depending on what we do, it may not be cost efficient for them to work with me. Do I want to leave them with nothing, no help? Absolutely not. But as a business owner, because again, this is what feeds me and my family, I have to make a decision. Am I going to spend time working on this when they can't afford to pay me? Or do I have some content that's going to already answer their questions? Which I do. So again, I'm making content that's going to attract people within the price point that I want to serve. A lot of people will say, hey, well, will you still work with me? I only owe $80,000, not $100,000. And I'm like, get in here, right? But for that person that only owes $9,500, guess what? You can't afford to work with me directly. It's not cost efficient, but I have a podcast episode that'll walk you through what to do. So again, my content's attracting people, but it's also educating them as well. So even with that, with the podcast episode or the video that walks them through how to solve their problem, guess what? I'm still getting a good Google review. That person's still going to leave satisfied because my content is serving more than one purpose. So right here, even if you want to look at it as an example, if you look on my YouTube page, I have stuff that is for conversion purposes, right? To attract people to my mentorship program, to attract them to the article subscription. You can look at the W4 videos. I'm not filling out anybody's W4. All right. I do have something on there. If people want me to do their W4s for them, they can pay me for a certain price, but it is priced at a point where I don't want people to hire me to do that. However, I'm going to still put those videos out because I don't want those to convert. I want those to get me views, to get me passive income. So it's very intentional. And typically, you might see me post about W4s to go watch the videos like in the beginning of the year, but that's not something I'm going to always promote because that's something that's passive. So I'm very intentional with what I actually share on LinkedIn or on Facebook, unless I'm going on an AI rant, um, because they have different purposes for me. You can have conversion content, you can have the evergreen content that maybe it does not convert to a client, but it's going to convert to views. That's fine as long as you have intention and as long as you have a strategy where you're doing it on purpose. All right. So Joseph says, closed mouths don't get fed. Amen. Miss Dorothy said, I need to be specific with tax resolution, but I'm new and want to manage expectations. Well, Miss Dorothy, I thought you were done with tax representation. I know we've had the discussion, but if anybody else is feeling like Miss Dorothy, where you're new, you want to manage expectations with the paid article subscription, there is actually an article that walks you through like how to manage client expectations and gives you a template for an engagement letter. The majority of the paid articles will have some type of template, checklist, price list. Um, there's a planner to help you with your content strategy. So if that's something you're interested in, I am ramping it back up. We were doing initially one article a week. Um, During the summer, I did kind of slack off on that. I think a couple of weeks ago, there were like 3 or 4 articles that came out one week. So it just depends. Now, if you are a person that needs more like attention where we're looking at each other's eyeballs, the actual mentorship program is about to relaunch. Now, the price point is going to change. You will still get the articles, but in addition to that, you will have 2 calls a month with me. They will be open to the group of whoever is in the mentorship program. So, one of those calls will be case support, or if you were having marketing troubles, we'll look at your specific situation and work through some things to make sure that you have that streamlined. And then the other call will be me specifically teaching, similar to how you see me teach on the different platforms. It will be about me teaching how to actually do the work. Um, because sometimes that's where people get stuck. They're like, okay, I don't want to do the marketing because I don't know how to do the work, right? Or they'll be like, I don't get a chance to do the work because I'm not doing marketing. It's kind of like which one comes first. And the thing about it is, with marketing for tax representation, it's something that you have to be consistent in because, again, like I said, when you were putting stuff out into the algorithm, a lot of you guys are worried about, oh my goodness, like the same people are seeing my post. Everybody's not going to see every post. All right. If I posted the same thing every day, you have those people that are going to like stuff just because they like whatever you put out. But look, just don't be ashamed to promote yourself. All right. And people need to see your consistency and again have time to build that know, like, and trust. So again, for example, if you're looking for tax representation clients, you can't talk about EIC today, tax representation today, penalties the next day. Like, it has to be consistent with your content. You want to make sure that you have themes. So again, for me, in January, YouTube's going to be all about W4s. All right. On Tuesdays, I'm going to be talking about marketing for representation clients in January because, again, people who have back taxes, people who aren't behind, taxes are top of mind in January and February because it's tax season. So on Tuesdays, I'm going to be hitting it hard with you guys on what type of stuff you need to be putting out to get the attention of people who have back taxes, to get the attention of people who have never owed the IRS before and they're going to file and figuring out that they owe and now they're having a panic attack. You need to be putting that content out in December and January so that when they go to look you up, they're going to see you're not new to this, you're true to this, you've been talking about it, you know what you're talking about, and then we'll look at how to convert them to clients. And if you get stuck, well, shoot, you should be in the mentorship program, right? So Miss Dorothy says, I'm not done, but was trying to figure out how the client could manage paying me, payment plan, and the IRS. I meant to say paying me a payment plan, estimate tax payments. See, Miss Dorothy, well, here's the thing. Because I think you're in another program as well. So this is what it is. If you've been in here anytime that I've taught the tax relief journey or on a 433F, drop that down in the comments because Ms. Dorothy, you may not have been there. So on the tax relief journey, I talk about the process that you need to take your clients through to determine how much they can afford to pay the IRS. Now, on an onboarding call, which by the way, if any of you guys are in the $25 a month subscription, there is also an article on this too. On that first call, when there's still a prospect, you are going to ask certain questions. So, for example, when I go on the phone, I'm like, hey, where am I calling? Area codes don't always tell us where people are from anymore. They tell me where they're at. Now, let's say I say, hey, I'm in Evansville, Indiana. And I just say that because that's where I went to high school and everything. Okay, cool. Evansville is at Vanderburgh County. They're going to confirm. While they are confirming those things, I have my computer up and I'm going to ask, okay, like, so is this just you or is this affecting your family or a spouse? They're going to give me the information I need with that. They're going to tell me, oh no, well, I'm not married, but I have 2 children that live with me. Okay, cool. Is there anybody else that lives with you? What age is your child or your children? I have a 10-year-old going on 30. It's very conversational, but now I know they're in Evansville, Indiana, Vanderburgh County. I'm looking up the national standards for that or local living standards for that, right? So now I know for a family of 3, what the IRS is automatically going to give them for an allowance for housing, utilities, and food. We're talking, I know for her car, because now I know where she lives, I can put in there what the IRS is going to allow. Say, okay, if the conversation is going well, I think I like her. I'm going to say, okay, Miss Dorothy, so right now, about roughly gross, so before taxes or anything, how much are you making each month? She's going to give me that number, and I'm going to look at that number compared to the information, compared to the information that she has told me so far about, like, yeah, I own a home, XYZ. And again, it's conversational because sometimes when I get off the phone with people, they're like, well, do you need to ask me any questions? I'm like, nope, I got all the information I got from chatting with you. I can kind of get an idea of what she's going to qualify for. Now, because this conversation, I keep it very informal, that first one, I doubt she's being malicious if she told me something incorrectly, right? With that, when I'm asking her about credit card debt, when I'm asking her about retirement, when I'm asking all of those things, how she's going to pay me is not my problem. It's her problem, right? Because I don't work until I've been paid. Within this, you have to remember that representation qualifies as legal work under the IRC. That's how it's spelled out in the IRM for the collection person that you're going to be on the phone with. With that being said, let's say that they have $900 in disposable income left, right? Now, I'm not going to do anything till I get my initial fee to do an investigation of the account. However, for the remainder, let's say I have to file some tax returns. I'll prepare them. I'm not going to actually send them off or fax them over until I'm paid for each return, right? So let's say we got 3 years of returns to do. You can pay me for the first one. Cool. I'm going to e-file that first one. The next one, split it up like that. For the representation part, because I have POA, I can see what's going on in the account. If things are going smooth, you can break that up into a payment plan. And when you're filling out the 433F, that's going to count as an allowable expense. See, what you're worried about is something that's not going to actually be a problem anyway, because they're either going to pay you or they're going to pay the IRS. I've had people who came and they got money from all their family members, children's, nephews, nieces, so that they can pay for the investigation. But then guess what? We got them right into a CNC, which is currently not collectible if you're not familiar. And because their income's not going to change, I know they're going to stay in CNC. I was able to split my payment up monthly as an ACH and I get paid. So right now, with you trying to figure out how they're going to pay you, pay for a payment plan and estimated tax payments, one, you're in your own way. You're not going to attract anybody who can't afford to pay you because you give off that aura of fear in your marketing. Two, you have to make sure that you are marketing to people that can afford to pay you. Again, you guys don't see me marketing to people who owe $10,000 because at my price point, what I charge, that's probably not going to make financial sense for them or for me. So Tanika Man EA says, that's what I need. Mentorship. Well, girl, come on in. And Deja, I can't stand LinkedIn sometimes. But I love it. LinkedIn, I love you. You've always done me right. Deja asks, what's the price for the new mentorship? So after September 18th, which is when the original one launched, it's also my 35th birthday, in case you guys want to give me some super chats or something. The price is going to go up to $250 a month. So right now, for my people that are already in there, they're going to be grandfathered in for the first year at the price point that they're paying right now. Because I do appreciate them. They've been very loyal. So yeah, September 18th, 2025, price is going to go up to $250 a month. And like I said, you will still have the article subscription, and then you will have those 2 calls a month. Thank you, sir. Carlos says dropping gems today. I appreciate that yet. Miss Dorothy, I'm not comfortable yet with the 100K threshold as a selling point. And Miss Dorothy, I would not advise you to use that as a selling point. Because like I said, right now, even picking up, like you guys can see me and like body language and everything. The questions that you're asking, I 100% would not tell you to market to somebody who owes $100,000 or more. You could market, I'd say, like a specific service, maybe. So like maybe lien removal, maybe levy removal. But the thing is, you were going to have to either go all in, and a lot of that is going to have to do with mindset. So, but you're going to have to go all in with marketing and go all in with somebody's mentorship program. Because here's the thing, I love taxes, love tax law, but I do have and have definitely relied on different mentors and things. I didn't just get up here one day, wake up, and was like, oh, America's favorite EA, and like have the confidence to go through and do different things. There are people who have helped me along the way. And that's something I share with you guys often. It does not have to be me, but go get the help you need. So if somebody else's mentorship program is going to help you, excuse me, most definitely like go invest in that so it can help with your mindset so that you know you're good up here so that you can actually go out and help other people. You guys know how on the plane they say make sure you have oxygen before you try to help somebody else. You have to make sure that you are okay up here and confident in what you're doing and the assistance that you're getting so that you can help somebody else. Because you definitely don't want to mess anybody's tax situation up any worse. LinkedIn has a serious lag over here, but I got my 5 people. Deja's been talking to me. Larry's been talking. If anybody else on LinkedIn has any questions, drop them down in the comments. Um, shoot. I'm trying to think. I thought about something. So the like I said, the people who are in the mentorship program now are going to get grandfathered in. If you join before my birthday, should I let you be grandfathered in for a year? I don't know. I don't know. But does anybody have any other questions? And I will say I do have a list of articles to write for the paid subscription. Those folks who are in the paid subscription, if you've ever done, I said super chat. If you've ever done paid thanks for something on Facebook or given stars on, I said it wrong, super chat or anything on YouTube or stars on Facebook, by all means, please let your request be made known. As appreciation, I do make those requests priority when it comes to the article subscription. Um, let's see, Miss Dorothy says, I'm planning to participate in ASTPS Certified Tax Resolution Specialist Program this year. That's awesome. Go for it. Um, but yeah, I think, and I don't know what it is specifically, and I'm not just saying you, there are people, and I've even had to deal with it as well, where maybe it's imposter syndrome. I'm not sure what the disconnect is, but until you actually get out there and you start doing the work, you're not going to become more confident in doing the work. I hope that makes sense. So right now you're not marketing because you don't know how to do the work. You're not going to know how to do the work until you actually start doing the work. And I've compared that to driving before. So, as an EA, think about it. As an EA, you have a license to do tax representation. When you get your driver's license, you have a license to drive, but you don't know how to drive until you actually get behind the wheel of a car and you begin implementing that and actually driving. Same thing with tax representation, tax resolution. You can have the license to do it, but until you actually start implementing what you've learned and doing it, you are not going to be able to represent anybody. And that goes for everyone. Book knowledge is great, but until it's all theory, until you actually apply it in real life. So, no, you can't become a tax expert and just be a tax expert on paper and you never actually do the work. The only way to overcome your fear of not being able to do the work is to get in there and start. And again, you don't want to mess up anybody's tax situation. So make sure again, it'd be nice if it was me, but it does not have to be me. Go get mentorship so you're not messing anybody up. All right. Now, as far as your content strategy, I had a young lady ask me recently about YouTube, and I've had a few ask me about LinkedIn. Keep your eyes peeled. Make sure you are on my email list because I am going to be sending some stuff out a little bit heavier this month and next month because I am going to host a content planning session for Q4 and Q1. It is going to be a paid session, and I don't know yet. I have to look at my Zoom screen again and things I've done in the past. It might only be 15 people. And the reason for that being in Zoom, it's a bit more of an intimate setting. However, There are going to be certain steps that I'm going to teach, show you guys part of what I'm working on, but I also want to be able to see yours and dig in and see if it actually makes sense. So, for example, if we're doing a content strategy, I'll use mine again for January. I want to attract people that are going to be filling out their W-4s the second part of January and in February. So it's not going to make sense for me to do a W-4, talk about estimated tax payments, talk about the child tax credit, right? That doesn't make sense. When I say it out loud about myself, you guys get that it doesn't make sense. However, when I look at your content again, you were talking about switching to an S corp, and then you're talking about uh tax deductions for a barber, people who own gyms, gig economy stuff, and you're like, well, I don't know why I'm not getting any tax representation clients. It's because you're not putting any content out for them. Okay. So in that session, again, it will be 2 hours. It is going to be limited just so I can actually dig into people's stuff. So I'm probably going to only be teaching like 15, 20 minutes, walking you through. Ahead of time, you'll already have a template to fill everything out, but I want to actually dig into people's stuff to make sure that it makes sense for the type of conversion that they want. Okay. So EA Stewie dropped in the comments, said just passed part 3 and it was my final exam. Congratulations. It looks like Form 23 takes about a month or more to get processed. Yes, it does. So, congratulations to you, EA Stewie. I hope you are in the group. If not, go to americasfavoriteea.com, look under groups, how to start an EA firm. It is, like I said, a free community to join right now. You will have to put a request in and um, we'll get that approved. Carlos says, congratulations. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Congratulations. Well, you all, I'm going to hop off of here. Um, I'm excited about working on the content strategy. We just have to stay focused on what the purpose of being on social media is. For those of you in the How to Start an EA Firm group, I will see you shortly because I'm about to drop in there and start giving out the homework assignments. All right. So you all have a great afternoon. Good deal, EA Stewie. Said my next step is to join the group. And thanks again, everyone. You are very welcome. And I will see you inside the group. You guys have a wonderful week. I'll talk to you later.